and welcome to Shopcast. I'm your host Varka, and today we are going to talk with Mrs. Richa Gonika, founder of Indian D2C brand Richa Gonika. We will be bringing all the Indian brands that aim to make changes in the D2C landscape. Richa, welcome to Shopcast. Can you share your journey of starting your label and impression behind it?
Hi Varka, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. So the journey actually began right after, not even after, while I was in college. Um, I started my own label. At that point, it was not called Richa Goenka. It was in another name, and because I was doing this with my mom also and my sister also. So we were all into it together, and soon I took over the entire business. After which the label changed to Richa Goenka, and this was probably started in maybe about 2005, maybe approximately. But my whole journey of getting into the limelight started only on in 2020, because that was a COVID year, and COVID was a game changer for me. um, Before that, it was we were very popular in the city, and even around the country a little bit before 2005. And there was then we went I went a little low key because I had children and all of that. On the personal front, I chose to go a little low key, and then we took off all over again, and there's no looking back. And COVID specifically was a total game changer, because we launched a different product in COVID, which was our we started with patanis for ladies, like a patan suit. How men have patan suits, we started patanis for ladies, which we called also patanis for ladies, and that did fabulously well. It just took off. It was flying from everywhere wherever we were trying to sell it. So it was a great success. After which, we on the same lines, we decided to launch shirts for women, and at that point, shirts was not a very popular scene in the country. So it was kind of like a new product, though shirts is something which has always been there. All, like, it's always there. In any store you go, there'll always be shirts. But the launch of the kind of styles that we did and all of that, it just took off to a different level. So the product made all the difference actually. And ever since COVID, we have just been growing and growing and growing in the market all over the country, even a little a bit internationally as well. And that led me to where I am right now. Yeah.
Sounds perfect. So, your designs are known for being simple yet elegant. What drive this philosophy and how do you balance simplicity and sophistication?
So, Varka, see, we mainly focus on creating something which is not on the face. So we don't want people to get restricted about where they can wear it. um, it has to be versatile. It has You can dress it up, dress it down. That has been kind of like a key feature for most of our garments. I'm just generalizing this. We would have probably a few garments which are specifically occasion oriented, but our signature styles are mainly, the concept is that only. So we keep in mind that it should not be like overdone, or something which is on the face, yet it is going to make somebody pause and look at your garment and say, wow, where did you get that from? Oh, that's a lovely shirt. I mean, that's what we want, but not in a loud way. So we make sure we have a right balance of being different yet elegant, and suiting our signature style. So yeah.
Impeccable detailing is a hallmark for your creation. Impeccable detailing is a hallmark for your creation. Could you share your process and how you ensure every piece stand out?
So, we are known for our excellent quality of fabrics, and the detailing. When I say detailing, I mean like whatever element we're adding to the garment, like embroidery or some embellishment or like say studs or anything. So apart from the look of it, even the quality is very important. You know, it can't look great, but the quality being substandard. So like from buttoning to the stitching to anything which goes on the garment, we make sure that everything is checked before and after, before the garment is made, as in we check the raw material as well as after the garment is totally ready. Then there's a quality check which is done for every piece, and that is done a little bit in detail so that we never get to hear from anyone the quality was not okay. So we are very particular at different stages of making the garment about the quality of everything that goes onto the garment, not only the fabric or the stitching. In every aspect, we make sure that it's all perfect. So yeah, we've always had that system from day one. So we're just keeping up to it, and it's working wonders.
Perfect. Your brand operates with a strong in house team in Chennai. Can you tell us more about the unique advantages that setup brings to your label?
So having anything in-house is of course much more feasible for any brand, for any company. It's just that some people, especially who are starting up, they can't, manage to do that for various reasons. We being in the field for many years now, we've got an in-house setup, especially our embroidery unit, which is one of our key features of our garment, where we like majority of our garments do have an embellishment or an embroidery or some element of handwork which is on the garment. We have only a hand embroidery unit. We don't do machine embroidery, nor do we buy ready-made embroideries and paste it on our garment. We have never done that and don't intend to either, because we have a fabulous team. And I think the advantages of having a good team in house is because you can maneuver everything at every step. You can guide them in small steps to big steps, also supervise, and also get what you're really like looking for. I mean, it is a process where we're doing sketches, submitting it to the karigars, but finally the outcome, what you want, if it doesn't turn out that way, which happens many times, we can change it at initial steps. We don't have to, if you outsource things like that, then we get the final product, uske baad then you change, then it becomes like big the whole cycle goes for a toss. So that is one aspect, the embroidery, and plus the management. We have a great team of people from NIFT and other fashion institutes. Some of them are not from any institutes; they don't have any experiences, but their work is so efficient and they're keen learners. So we can mold them into what we want them to be and what we want them to handle, which also helps a lot because there's always freshness in ideas, in execution, in all of that, which really really helps. So I totally back on my in-house team. Like they are my core.
Yes, definitely. Team is a core of any business. You have built
Absolutely.
a you have built a client base that spans both Indian and international market. What challenges and opportunities have you experienced while catering to a global audience?
So within India, I wouldn't say there are too many challenges, but yes, out of India, it has the challenge that I face usually. One is the shipping cost. It is exorbitant. Um, it's just not feasible for any client to order a single garment and get it shipped on a normal basis. Once in a while, okay, but we lose out a lot. There's so many people who want to order on a regular basis, but they don't because the shipping cost is so high. So that is one big challenge. Second challenge I noticed was people living out of India. Uh, if it's not an occasion based season, for example, if it's not close to a Diwali or a New Year or something, then it's fine. But otherwise, if you're trying to show in those countries, they're very, very occasion based when it comes to an Indian brand because they are more keen towards Indo Westerns or Indian because probably they don't get that much in their country, which is fair. But because our brand is not Indian or Indo-Western oriented, though we make a lot of them, but that's not our signature. So what we would like to show is our signature styles, and that's when we find it challenging. Then we don't show in those months, but then again we're losing out, because of our products not fitting into the demand of that season. So these are the only challenges I have faced for the international market. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, ShopDips is designed for new Indian D2C brands. What excites you about the collaborating with ShopDips, and how do you envision this partnership contributing to your brand's growth?
So I think this could be a great platform to reach the right people. See, like today, you can buy anything. You can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can buy verification, but that's quantity over quality, and we don't believe in that. We totally believe in quality over quantity. Every working of ours, every collaboration, even with influencers, has always been quality over quantity. So I feel platform like ShopTips, like y'all, I think y'all are the kind of platforms which brands like us need, because we know that it's going to reach the right people. It's not for public entertainment or anything of that sort. It is going to reach the people who we would like it to reach too. That is our target audience, and I think that's why it's a great collab opportunity for me.
So, how do you think ShopDips can help promote the Richa Gonika label philosophy of simple yet elegant design to a wider audience?
I think what you're doing right now, I mean, because this is quite explanatory, what I'm saying about the brand and about the label, that itself is a great step to kind of explain, to your audience about the brand and promote us in the right way, because it's coming from the horse's mouth. Everything uh, is coming directly from me, and what better way to explain the brand? uh, on your platform to your audience. So I think this is a great thing. What you're doing itself is the way that it would be.
Absolutely. I think that the collaboration would be effective and would be beneficial to both of us.
Definitely.
Your team includes craftsmen, designers, pattern creator, and more. How do you foster creativity and collaboration within such a diverse group?
So each one is specifically doing um, particular roles and tasks. So it's not like anyone is doing everything, right? So we kind of do a teamwork. Not even kind of. It is totally a teamwork, and we formulated a process, like a whole series of events that happens. It's like this: step one, step two, step three, like that. So because there's a team of all of these, and everybody is required on various stages of producing the garment, um, the whole coordination and correlation between all of them is very important. It is not a one man show. Definitely, it's not just about designing a garment and handing it over to the team to get it done. There is a whole process to it, step by step process. So once that is in sync, then everything is sorted. And I just need to make sure that everything is in sync, in the right way. So even getting work done is one different thing from getting work done right. Work can be done, but we want the right work to be done, right? So in the right way. So which is very important, where we actually need to supervise at every level and make sure things are going in place, and there's a lot of coordination within the team, because as you rightly said, it is a vast team, and unless we set these norms, these you know SOPs to step further into the next procedure, the next process of actually making the garment. If we don't set that right, it's just going to be messy. So we've done that from the beginning. Once we started growing, we did that at that stage, and it's been working perfectly fine.
Perfect. So, being based in Chennai, how has the city influenced your designs and your approach to fashion?
The city has not contributed in any way, to be honest, because I do not consider what people in Chennai are liking or wearing or nothing of that sort. I'm not keeping Chennai in my head at all. It's just that I live here, I'm based here, my setup is here, but it doesn't affect anything honestly to do with anything. Yeah, not at all. Like nothing of Chennai affects. Yeah.
So what affects you, your thinking, thought process? If it is not Chennai, there must be some inspiration, some state or some other inspiration that you must be having.
So my inspiration, Varka, can actually it's so large. It's so varied that there is nothing specific where I can say. I mean, it can just be something so random. It can just be a table. It can be a painting. It can be anything. It's just. But I know that if I like it, I like it. I mean, if I'm trying to like something, that means it's not going to work. I just have to like it in one shot, and then I kind of try and see what I can do with that, whatever I have liked. For example, if it's a painting, whatever I liked in that painting, is it the colors? Is it the motive? Is it some kind of texturing? Or and then I see how I can use it to create something on a garment, or how do I make like a motive out of it, or how do I do the shading the way the painting is, something of that sort. So this is just a random example I'm giving you. So like that, the inspiration can be anything. And I don't really follow the fashion forecast, the international forecast, because I also feel that in India people just wear what they would look good in, that's all. So I mean, if it is a color from last season, nobody cares. इस
Yeah.
बार अभी pink is not in right now. Pink was in last season, but if I'm selling a pink shirt which is going to look good on them, they'll still buy it. They're not going to not buy it because it was last season. So all that
Yeah,
doesn't
true.
work here. So I don't keep all those things in mind. It's just about my personal taste, my personal liking. I have to be sure that the garment is going to look great. And when somebody wears it, it's going to look even better. So that's what I have in my head.
Absolutely. How has the customer feedback shaped your label, and can you share a story of a feedback that has a significant impact on your design?
I have gotten such amazing feedbacks from so many clients that it's kind of overwhelming. Um, I don't, we don't really post it, or like, we don't publicize all that, but uh, I've really been lucky, and I'm really thankful to all those clients who's given us those amazing, encouraging feedbacks. But this feedback is so important. Now, any feedback, negative and positive, both are important. But a positive obviously makes you feel great, and negative doesn't make you feel great, but it gives you so much scope to improve, which is also very important if you really want to grow your brand. See, if it's a one time thing, or if it's just one boutique, in some part of the country, where that's where you want to be, उतना ही, then it's okay. कभी ऐसे होता है, कभी वैसे होता है, but otherwise I think it's extremely important to get the feedback. And as I said, I've been very lucky to get excellent feedback from so many clients. There are clients who literally, I mean, they've picked up tons of clothes, say, within a span of a couple of days, and within 2 weeks they've worn them all, and they've come back and they'll be like, okay, now we've worn them, now we want the next lot. And I'm talking about at least 10, 15 garments each time. So when all those kind of things happen, and they like, and there are clients who are very renowned people from the country. I can't mention names, but when and they live in Bombay, Delhi, and they're all the biggies of the country. And when they reach out, being in such cities like Delhi, Bombay, where everything is available, like in your own street, you'll have like 10 brands, offering maybe similar stuff, better stuff, whatever. I mean, much higher brands also. But when they reach out to us, and they place their orders with us, that's a total feel good. It's like a real boost for us that okay, we are going in the right direction, we are making the right product, and we are reaching the right clientele also. So that's a big boost that we get when people from these kind of places, especially as I'm seeing the the level of these people, who they are. And when they have access to anything all over the world, not only their cities, and when they reach out to us to place an order, that's a very, very good feeling.
So, sustainability is growing focus in fashion. How does your label incorporate sustainable practices or values?
So we don't focus on being sustainable per se, but um, we are using fabrics which are pure cotton only. There is no mix. There is nothing synthetic in our fabrics. Um, but it's again, as I'm saying, so we are not a totally sustainable brand because we are using other trims which go on to the garment which are not sustainable. So we don't focus on being sustainable. What we do for what do I say, to be environment friendly is we try to recycle our waste, at least, something. We do whatever we can do. So we are not focusing on using fabrics and materials which are sustainable for the garment, but in the whole process, whatever else happens, we try to be a little more environment friendly, like, not using plastic uh, for anything and things like that. And also some one of the units, which is my husband's factory, is one of the very few green factories of the country. It's a garment export factory. um, I don't have anything to do with exports, but yes, the factory is used many times for my production as well. So that is itself green. So there's nothing more sustainable than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's about
definitely.
it.
Definitely, definitely. Sustainability is the key, and green fashion is what growing in India.
Yes.
So, is there any specific design or collection that your label that holds a special place in your heart, and if so, why?
You're talking about my own collection? Sorry, I didn't get you.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Is there any specific design or collection from your label that
Okay.
holds a special place in your heart?
Yes, there is. There are two collections. In fact, the first one of our first launched shirts, which was a pocket with sequin embroidery with a tape going down the shoulder. That's like our signature shirt and quad set, which has created like waves in the country, and how I can't even explain. And similarly, we've made a shirt with a butterfly, half butterfly, which has again created like, I mean, those two are our top favorites because that has really, really given us a lot of popularity, a lot of business, yes, and people have given us crazy appreciation for those two pieces, as in that's a part of two different collections. So yeah, those two are my favorites definitely. I'm sure everybody would have definitely seen those designs. Yeah, and of course, sorry, I'm forgetting the stud
Yes,
work also.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yes,
are you
absolutely.
able to
That's
hear
a
me?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, the
So,
stud work
what's
also
next
is
for
a
Richa Gonika label? Are there any exciting projects or collection in the pipeline?
definitely, but I'm not going to disclose them. So yeah, you will have to wait to see that. Yeah, a lot of exciting things coming up. Lots.
Definitely, definitely. We would love to see all those inspiring designs that are upcoming. So, what advice would you give to young designers who aspire to build their own label?
Um, I think what they should really focus on is two things. One is definitely being online, because online is the future today. I mean, there are a lot of people who are not yet, so the scope is so high even now. Um, it's not like the Western world where a lot of people are already online. In India, the scope is immense. So, online is definitely the key. Definitely work towards building an online presence, which is very important. And uh, I would also say that don't be afraid to start small. It takes time, takes a long time funding is the biggest issue when somebody is starting up, unless you have a personal backing of a lot of funding. But don't get disheartened by it, because that it all flows along the way. Um, it's all going to work out if your product is good. Just make sure your product is A class. That's all.
Definitely. So, as a designer and entrepreneur, how do you balance the creative and business aspects of running your label?
So I just think, see, creativity is something you can't learn. You can't plan a creativity. It just comes. There are people who are creative. There are people who are not. So today, if I have to, I'm going to be the key design person in figuring out what needs to be made. I'm just creative myself, so I don't need to try and be creative or say ki achhe. I mean, that's just the way I am. This is not something you can't study creativity, right? You can study, okay, fine, technical aspects and all that, but creativity is something which comes from within, and unless you let it flow, it's not going to work. You cannot structure creativity, nor can you restrict. So you need to just be easy in your head when things are flowing. It may work, it may not. I mean, if you're say sketching, or if you're planning in visually in your mind what garment you're going to be making, how it's going to look, sometimes it turns out really bad. Like, sometimes I have made so many sketches, I've even made the garment, and when I look at it, I'm like, okay, no, this is not working. So there are times that it doesn't work, but so what? Then don't make more, and you just stop, then shift to something else. But at least you've let your creativity take over. But with time, what happens is, automatically it happens that your creativity itself starts subconsciously going towards a specific direction, which, because it's about what you're perceiving, right? What you're looking at, what you are creating, and all that in your subconscious mind kind of just guides you into creating the right stuff. That's it. It just happens with time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is to focus on creating something which would always leave a mark. I mean, some element of your garment, what you have created, should at least, make somebody pause and compliment, or think like, wow, what a lovely piece, and something in a small way. Doesn't have to be a big way, but I feel anything created for somebody else should definitely leave a mark for that somebody, so that they feel great also. And also, then that, okay, you've done it right, and you've done your best, and you've gotten the you know uh, endorsement that, okay, what you have created is a great piece. So that is very important. Again, not, it doesn't have to be over the top, it doesn't have to be on the face and very loud. In a subtle way, you can create a mark, but definitely create something which will create a mark. That would be my message. Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you so much. And
Most
finally, to
welcome.
our listener who are inspired by you, yes, definitely. So, and finally, to our listener who are inspired by your journey, that brings to end of this today's episode of Shopcast. A huge thank you to Richa for sharing the inspiring journey with us. Remember, you can find her brand and other amazing Indian brands on shopdips.com. Until next time.